Welcome to everyone. We will just read the previous two slokas and then get into today's class, 35 and 36. So 35 is before you. Now let me read the 35th sloka. Ahamakashavat sarvam bahiranthargachotgatochyutah sada sarvasamah siddho nisango nirmalochalah. Once again I will read. Ahamakashavat sarvam bahiranthargachotgatochyutah Ahamakashavat sarvam bahiranthargatochyutah sada sarvasamah siddho nisango nirmalo chalah. Then let us look at the 36th. Nityasuddha vimuktaikam Akhandanandamadvayam Satyam Jnanamanam Anantam Yat Param Brahmahameva Tat. Once again. Nityasuddha Vimuktaikam Akhandanandamadvayam Satyam Jnanamanantam Yat Param Brahma Ahameva Tat. Now let us look at the today's sloka. So, having contemplated like that in the 2-3 previous slokas, Evam Nirantarabhyastha Brahmaiva Asmiti Bhavana. In some books, it will be Vasana, but the better reading will be Bhavana. There are two pathas, two variants. Variant is called Pathabedham. Pathabedham is variant. Vasana you eliminate and keep it as Bhavana here. Evam nirastarabhyasta brahmaiva smiti bhavana haratya avidya vikshepan roga nivarasayanam. Roga nivarasayanam. So let us learn this now. So he is giving a beautiful analogy. Roga niva rasayanam. Rasayanam is medicine. Roga is the ill health, disease. So you use the rasayana or the aushadha or the medicine for the roga. What will happen? The roga will disappear. Along with it, the medicine also will disappear from the system. You understand? Roga nivarasayanam. Evam. Thus, in this manner. In what manner? In the manner of 34, 35, 36, which are the Nithithyasana slokas. Evam nirantarabhyasta. Nirantara abhyasta is Nithithyasana. Nirantara, continuously, abhyasta, practice. Nithithyasana is Nirantara abhyasa. Nirantara abhyasta. What will happen with Nirantara abhyasa? In the way we have contemplated, it destroys the ignorance. Haratya avidya, second line. Haratya vidya vikshepan. Not only the avidya has gone, all the projections, vikshepas, all the tendencies associated with avidya also have gone. Haratya vidya vikshepan. Then what remains? Brahmaiva asmiti. Brahmayeva aham asmiti. Brahmayeva aham asmi. I am the Brahman alone. That establishes. Why? We started constant practice, nirantara abhyasta. How? Evam, in the way already described in the three previous slokas. What did I do? Bhavana. What is bhavana? Meditation. What meditation? Nirantara abhyasta bhavana. A constant thinking that I am the Brahman with that bhavana, that meditation. What happened? Avidya harati. Avidya is gone. Harati means gone, dissolved, destroyed. Along with vikshepan, avidya, avidya's projections, all tendencies associated with ignorance, they are destroyed. Elaga, how? Roga nivarasayanam. There is a roga, serious roga. What is that serious roga? Bhavaroga, the roga of samsara. For that we have given the appropriate medicine. What is the appropriate medicine? Nirantarabhyasta bhavana. What bhavana? Brahmaivasmiti. I am Brahman with that bhavana. How to do? Evam, in the way that is told. Then, just as the roga goes away with an appropriate treatment, this bhavaroga also is destroyed. Not only the bhavaroga, all the tendencies of that roga, all the projections also are destroyed. I'll read again. Evam nirantarabhyasta brahmaivasmiti bhavana haratya vidya vikshepan rogan iva rasayanam rogan iva rasayanam. So correct, in some books it is given as vasana. At the end of the first line, you keep it as bhavana, because most of the books are using bhavana, and that is very appropriate. Evam, thus, nirantarabhyasta, practiced constantly, Brahma eva asmi, I am Brahman, iti, in this manner. Vasana, we don't use. Bhavana, that is a constant chittavritti. Mind is contemplating on the Brahman. Harati, destroys. Avidya vikshepan, ignorance and its all agitations. Rogan, diseases iva, like rasayanam, with medicine. Just like with the intake of medicine, how the roga is destroyed. Don't ask whether Grihastha can do Nityaasana regularly. Grihastha has got several functions. I am a householder, I have office, I have children, I have parties, I have so many problems. Can I do Nityaasana, Nirantara Abhyasta Bhavana? Can I have it? This is for Grihasthas only. Why? For sannyasin, it does not have to do special abhyasa, because already it does not have any entanglements. There is no wife, there is no house, there are no children, there is no office going, there are no confusions. So for him, the Brahma Bhavana is already there. Not that he will not do, he will be always in Brahma Bhavana. It is only for the Grihastha, like you and me, this prescription is given. What is this prescription? Nirantara abhyasta. Of what? Aham Brahma iti. Brahma ahamityi iti eva. Bhavana. How to do it? Evam, in the manner told in the previous. Okay. Therefore, more than a sannyasi, Grihastha alone, it is important, because 1 hour or half an hour, he will say Aham Brahmasmi in the dhyana or in the class. Rest of the time, he will go into opposite vrittis, that is the buddhi vrittis. Children are there, parents are there, spouse is there, wife is there, job is there. So he is distracted in many ways by the avidya. That is called the vikshepa. Avidya vikshepan, all the distractions because of the anatma bhavana or avidya bhavana. We cannot change others if we feel that we have been nice to them if they were different. If these people are different than what I want, then it is okay. It will be nice for me. But we can't change others. Then we have to endure and accept it, and then be neutral to whatever is the behavior of others. Nirantara abhyasta, continuous practice needs to be done, not once in 1 year on a New Year day, I am Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi, they are not useful. Nidhityasanam should be done on a daily basis. Brahmaiva ahamasmi, not just Aham Brahma. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. And also I am Sharma. Also I am Gruhastha. Also I am doctor. Also I am old. Along with Aham Brahmasmi, you will have several things. Here what is saying? Aham Brahma eva asmi. Aham Brahmaiva asmi. I am Brahman alone, nothing else. The evakara, the only, signifies Aham Brahmaiva asmi. Aham Brahmasmi. You think that is Brahma, thinking of Brahma being Brahman is one part, there is other part being Grihastha. It's not like that. Aham Brahma eva asmi. There is no doubt at all in this concept, in this understanding. Just as saying Brahma will be a meaningless word. Just saying Brahma, Brahma, it's a meaningless word. So, whenever you have any want, you say Purnosmi. Whenever you have any dukkha, you say Santosmi. Whenever you have any sort of lacking or want something which is not fulfilled, Truptosmi. Like that, Brahmaivasmi is the general term. Depending on the situation, you have to use the respective terms which are already explained in the previous one. Okay. Bhavana means nidithyasana. What bhavana? Brahma eva ahamasmi. That bhavana. When? Nirantara apyasta. How? Evam. In the way which is already decided. Nasti buddhirayuktasya nacha yuktasya bhavana nacha bhavayatah shantihi ashantasya kuta sukham. Gita 266. Nasti buddhirayuktasya nacha yuktasya bhavana nacha bhavayatah shantihi ashantasya kuta sukham. Means what? If you are not composed and contemplating on the Brahman, nasti buddhir ayuktasya. So there is no proper focus of the intellect. Nacha yuktasya bhavana. If the mind doesn't have the adhyavasaya or the resolve that you are Brahman, bhavana, the contemplation nidhyasana, cannot take place. Nacha bhavayatah shantihi. If you don't contemplate on Brahman, all the ashanti will come. There is no shanti. Ashantasya. For example, you don't have this shanti or prashanti, kutaha sukham. Where you can get the Brahmananda, you cannot get. That means, first of all, you must have a firm resolve that I am the Brahman. And that bhavana should be constantly practiced. That should lead to Shanti. Shanti is the Ananda or Sukham. Bhavana here is Nitithyasana. What does it do? Harati avidya vikshepan. This Nitithyasanam removes my ignorance or avidya. Avidya can be removed by Shravanam only. Shravanam can remove but the vikshepas of avidya are not removed by Shravanam. In Shravanam, what do you know? You are hearing that you are Brahman and nothing else. So that is good. That is good enough for you to tell you are what. But then the vikshepas of avidya, I am still this, still that, I am householder, I am worker, I am so and so. These are the vikshepas. For that, constant nirantara abhyasta bhavana brahma eva ahamasmi is at. This is called the viparita bhavana rahitya. Avidya rahitya, viparita bhavana rahitya. Once the avidya goes, along with that, the projections also will go. Then you should not ask when I will be liberated. Liberation is not a future tense. When I will get moksha, whether I will get in this janma or after my death, all these questions become irrelevant. Now he gives the example or the drishtanta. Roganiva rasayanam. Rasayanam, aushadham, medicine. Yatha rogan rasayanam iva harati. Just as the medicine destroys the disease. Rasayanam removes the Sarira Rogam. And Nidhidhyasanam removes the Bhavarogam or Manorogam. Rasayanam is meant to remove the Vyadhi. Rasayanam is Aushadham, medicine, is to remove or cure you from the disease, physical disease, mental disease. Nidhidhyasanam is to remove the what? It has to remove the Deha Bhava. It has to remove the Samsarika Bhavana. So here also time is involved. So take medicine. I give you medicine. Let's say you had fever. Do you think you'll become better in the next moment? No. It will take at least 3-4 days. You have to take medicine. After that, 2-3 days of convalescence will be there. Then by next week, doctor, I took 1 week for me. That is what is called the convalescence period. Here also, when you start the Nithityasana, you will have a convalescence period. A period where you need to constantly practice. How long? As long as the disease is there, you have to take it. Suppose your disease is a chronic disease, this Bhavaroga, then you have to do this Nididhyasana for a longer period. Convalescence period will be over. Once you are firmly placed, that you are Brahman. Okay? Jhayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshu Pajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodho Vijayate. Once you are thinking about the Vishayas, then automatically this cycle of all those things will lead to the Bhavaroga or the Samsara. Vishaya Vinivartante Niraharasya Dehinaha Rasavarjam Rasopyasya Param Drishtva Nivartate. 259. Whoever is devoid of the Vishayas, Vishaya Vinivartante Niraharasya Dehinaha. So you should not give food for the Vishayas. If you feed the Vishayas, feed the Indriyas with the Indriya Bhogas, they will be always engrossed in them. So the persisting taste of the sense objects also will be there. Suppose you have tasted this one, that anubhava, the experience will have a lingering taste. For that to get off, it will take some time. That is the convalescence period I am talking about. Sarvabhutastitam yomam bhajati ekatvam astitah sarvadha vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate. There is also another similar Gita slokam here. After that, there will be no problem. Sahayogi, that type of yogi, mai vartate, he will be me. And Brahma and he are not different. Sarvatha vartamanopi. Though he is conducting in the world, sahayogi mai vartate. Sarvabhutastitam yomam bhajati ekatvam astitaha. He understands that the same Brahman is pervading the universe everywhere, in every particle, every body, every individual, every experience is Brahman. If he understands that Sarvatha Vartamanopi, though he is conducting in the transactional world, Sahayogi, that type of person, Sadhaka, Mumukshu, Mai Vartate, he becomes me. That is the use of Nididhyasana. Now, understanding the spiritual growth through the Rasayana analogy. The sacred composition Atma Bodha 37 Slokam offers a profound medical metaphor for the seeker's journey towards self-realization. The impression I am Brahman, that means the constant bhavana, thus created by constant practice, destroys the ignorance, avidya harati, along with the vikshepa, the agitations caused by it. Just like the medicine destroys the disease. In the Vedic context, Rasayana is Aushadham. Aushadham is medicine, a potent medicine specifically formulated to remove the physical disease. By employing this analogy, the text shifts our understanding of spiritual growth from mere intellectual pursuit to a rigorous process of internal purification and healing. Now it is saying not only Aham Brahmasmi is in the mind, you have the roga all over the body, the bhavaroga, that you are the body, mind, and indriya, you are the householder, and that is ingrained in you in every particle of yours. That particular roga has to go, that internal healing or purification has to take place. For that, the best medicine prescribed here is Bhavana, meditation. What bhavana? Brahma eva ahamasmi bhavana. When nirantara abhyasta, every day constant practice. How? Evam, in the way that is already prescribed. Then what will happen? Harati avidya vikshepan. All the avidya and its associated agitations are all removed. Harati, just like a potent medicine removes the disease from its roots thoroughly. It cleans the disease. Okay. Diagnosis, mapping physical and spiritual illness. A physician cannot prescribe cure without first identifying or diagnosing the ailment. The Vedic tradition distinguishes between afflictions of the physical frame and those of the subtle internal frame or the mind. Now, this avidya or ignorance is the root cause of all my misgivings, all my misunderstandings. These are called the avidya vikshepa. Avidya is what? I forgot that I am Brahman. Okay, if you forget, that is one aspect, that is one error. The other error is because I forgot I am Brahman, I am thinking I am something else. I am a grahastha, I am this, I am that, I am one or all those things. Avidya vikshepas. These are called the habitual reactions that plague the seeker even after they have begun their studies. You have started hearing that you are Aham Brahmasmi, but the avidya vikshepas are still there. The symptoms indicate that still the disease is continuing. If you are still thinking that you are so and so, you are grihastha, you are better, you are worse, you are happy, you are sorry, that means the disease is still continuing its agitations. Existential anxiety, expressing doubts such as when will I finally be liberated? Will I ever get any moksha? Will I get a gradual liberation? Or will it be instantaneous? Will some guru come and give that liberation? When it will happen? Will it happen in this life or after my death? All these are existential anxiety. That means you are already Mukta Purusha. There is no doubt about it, but you have an anxiety whether you are Mukta or habitual emotionality. That is, involuntary manifestations of viparita bhavana, such as falling into sudden anger, frustration, depression, passion, love, hatred, all these are vikshepas, viparita bhavana. Then, role identification, opposite in the daily life that cause one to feel limited, small, defined strictly by transient sort of social identities. That is, you have identified yourself as a limited individual. That itself is a role identification. Once the disease of the habitual reactions are diagnosed, what are those symptoms? Existential anxiety about mukti, emotional instability, ragadveshas, role identification, that I am limited. These are the symptoms of the disease. Once the disease is a habitual reaction or viparita bhavana or vikshepas are identified, then the specific medicine must be applied. What is the specific medicine here? Brahma eva ahamasmi. I am Brahman. Brahma eva ahamasmi. I am Brahman alone and nothing else. The primary treatment is mental problem. Nididhyasana is required, constant practice is required. This process involves a deliberate cultivation of a mental bhavana, mental strength, mental impression. It is important to distinguish bhavana from vasana. While the latter often refers to passive, subconscious impressions, bhavana denotes an internal active meditation. That's why I asked you to replace the word vasana with bhavana. Nasti buddhirayuktasya na cha yuktasya bhavana na cha bhavayatah shanti ashantasya kuta sukham. Already we have seen. That is the bhavana. Bhavana is mental contemplation, not impression. Impression is vasana, bhavana is mental contemplation. Active ingredients of practice are there. General formula, Brahma eva ahamasmi. I am indeed Brahman alone. That is the general meditation as a universal cure. But for maximum efficiency, it must be converted into situational remedies. Okay, based on the specific symptoms of the seeker. Just like, diet and exercise are general medicines for all the diseases. Good diet, balanced diet, and good amount of exercise is useful for all the diseases. Aham Brahmaivas. Okay, but specific disease requires specific medicine. Suppose we have anger, mind is agitated. Remedy is Aham Santo Shantosmi. I am peaceful. I feel incomplete. Aham Purnosmi. I feel discontented. I am Triptosmi. Like that, we have to apply the specific medicine for the specific symptom that you have. Depending on if you always feel you are lacking something, aham purnosmi. If you are dissatisfied with yourself and the surroundings, aham triptosmi. If you are always agitated and angry, I am shantosmi. Like that, we have to apply independent meditational practices. A single dose of medicine is insufficient. That's why we as doctors ask you to take 2 times or 3 times a day for 5 days, sometimes for 10 days, sometimes for 6 months, depending on the disease. The secret of its efficacy is the long continuation in the appropriate dose and frequency. Here also he says, Nirantaradhyastat Brahma Ahamasmi Brahma eva Ahamasmi Bhavana. Evam, in the manner prescribed, in a general way and in a specific way. What is the dosage and frequency? Nidhidhyasana is this common misconception that Nidhidhyasanam is monastic. Really, monastic means sannyasi. Nidhidhyasana is sannyasi. It's not for the monastic people or sannyasis. It is for the grihasthas only, because sannyasi is already in the Brahma Bhavana for most of the time. It is the grihastha who has to come. Then the householder, every interaction triggers a different role. He will sometimes become father, sometimes become an employer, sometimes an employee, sometimes a social activist. Depending on the role, you will have distractions. Reigniting the ahankara or ego in you. You spend 1 hour in meditation, remaining 23 hours are filled with opposite activities, opposite vrittis, reinforced by your family, your society, and other responsibilities. That's why Nidhidhyasana is essential for you to do every day. Every householder, Nirantara Abhyasta, for cancellation of the ego identity. Avidya Vikshepan Harati. So the convalescence period also, you must remember that you must give enough time for the Nidhidhyasana to affect and then give you. It is not a one-day meditation. You have to do it. The persistence taste of that medicine will linger for some time. All the vikshepas also will have some taste. Until they go away, you will have to taste the medicine or take the medicine. Key takeaways: presence until habit, persistence until habitual reactions cease. Precision in your remedy, depending on what you have, Purnatvam, Purnoham, Shantoham, Triptoham, like that. Respect the healing time also. This example metaphor of Rasayana correctly identifies the Bhavaroga and the treatment for that. Now let us read the second verse of today. What is the second verse? Let us share it. So this is the second verse of today. How to do the sit and do that, the postural adjustments and all that, he is talking here. Once you are the physical posture, the attitude you have to keep, the surroundings, For that he is telling, when you are doing meditation, what are the practical steps here? Vivikta desha asino virago vijitendriya bhavayed yekamatmanam tamanantamananyadhi. Vivikta desha asino virago vijitendriya bhavayet yekamatmanam tam anantam ananyadhi tam anantam ananyadhi tam anantam ananyadhi. Tam bhavayet, tam, that Brahma, you have to meditate. What is that Brahma? Anantam, infinite Brahma. How to do it? Ananyati, not with any distraction other than the Brahma. Dhi is buddhi, anyadhi is other perverted or distracted buddhi, ananyadhi, focused buddhi. Anantam, ananyadhi, tam bhavayet. What is that? Ekam atmanam. That one Brahman alone is there. Ekameva advayam Brahma. Bhavayet ekam atmanam. Ekam atmanam. What is that Brahman? He's not sitting in the clouds above with a beard and great grandfather. He is Brahman. I am the poor jiva. That's not like that. Atmanam. That Brahman is this only. That Brahman is seated here only. Here and everywhere. Bhavayet. You have to meditate. Ekam, only one. Atmanam, you yourself are that Brahman. Tam, that's such a Brahman. Anantam, infinite. He is in the heart as well as he is infinite. He is very, very small. Anoraniyan, subtler than the subtlest and greater than the greatest. Mahato Mahiyan means what? It is not an object of measurable object. It is aprameya, cannot be measured. So such a Brahma, who is Atmanam Brahma and also Anantam Brahma. Both you have to ananyadhi, without any second thought. We say now, do it without a second thought. That is ananyadhi. Anyadhi, second thought. Ananyadhi, no second thought. Sitting in a solitary place. Where I should do? Vivikta desha asinaha. You sit in solitude. This is not loneliness. This is alone. Alone and loneliness. Loneliness is a depressive feeling. Alone is something which you have created for yourself. A very quiet place where nobody disturbs you. Vivikta desha asinaha. Viragaha. No passion towards anything. Vijitendriyaha. The indriya vyaparas or indriya distractions are already conquered. Vijita, conquered. Conquered indriya vyaparas. Viragaha, mental. Vijitendriyaha, viragaha. Ragaha is in the mind. Indriyas are the body and the indriyas. And physical body, where it should sit? Vivikta desha asina. Solitude of the body. Vijitendriya for the indriyas. Viragaha, mind. With this posture, with this physical adjustments and mental adjustments, bhavayet ekam atmanam. Bhavayet, imperative sentence. You must contemplate. Bhavayet. What I should bhavayet? Not about idli sambar or not about the TV program or cricket match in the evening. That is not. Ekam atmanam. You have to think about that ekam atmanam. Where is that? Anantam, the one which is infinite, that here and here I have to contemplate. How? Ananyati, without any distraction, not without any other thought. Vivikta desha, in a solitary place, asinaha, seated, viragaha, free from any raga or attachment or desires. Vijitendriyaha, controlling all your senses, 5 plus 5. Bhavayet, must meditate upon ekam, that one Brahman, Atmanam, the self Brahman, tam, that one, Anantam, infinite, boundless, Ananyadhi, with unswerving attention. Unswerving attention. Unswerving attention means undistracted attention. Now here Acharya gives some instructions for the Nitithyasana. In the previous sloka I said, you do Nitithyasana. When? Every day. How? Brahma eva asmi. I am the Brahma alone. What is that bhavana? Constant meditation. Then what are the prescriptions for the position and all? He is telling Vivikta Desha विविक्तदेशे च सुखासनस्तः शुचिः समग्रीवशिरश्चरीरः अत्याश्रमस्तः सकलेन्द्रियाणि निरुज्य भक्त्या स्वगुरुं प्रणम्य. Similar prescription in Kaivalyopanishad, fifth mantra also comes. Viviktadeshe cha. So this is Bhagavad Pada here. He said, Viviktadesha asinaha sukhasanastaha. Very comfortable asana. It should not be very disturbing. If the seat itself is disturbing, what meditation you can do? Suchihi, very pure. Samagriva siras sarira. Griva is this one, sira is this body, sarira is the body. All in one line. Indirectly indicating griva is what you speak, siraha is what you think, sarira is what you do. That means your action, thought, and speech should be in one line. That is another deeper understanding. Samagriva siras shariraha atyasтрamastaha. You are beyond all the ashramas, varnashramas. Sakalendriyani nirudhya, restraining all the indriyas. Bhaktya swagurum pranamya. You first give a prayer to your guru. We have also done that prayer today in 3 verses. Our guru Shankaracharya, we have given prayer with the devotion, dedication. So this is a Kaivalyopanishad Vakya. Like that, here also he is saying the same thing. Anyadhi, other thought. Ananyadhi, without other thought. Ekam anantam tam atmanam bhavayet. Tam atmanam, that atma, ekam and anantam. Atmanam, here, atmanam tam bhavayet. Anantam tam bhavayet. Ekam tam bhavayet. Whatever is the one, whatever is infinite, whatever is here, the same one only, that you bhavayet. Aham purnaha, aham truptaha. So these words you have to keep getting it. Ekam, non-dual, anantam, limitless, atmanam, you yourself, bhavayet, contemplate. Now let us see each word again. What did he say? Vivikta desha, solitary place, asinaha, seated, viragaha, free from desires, Vijitendriyaha, controlling all the senses, bhavayet, must meditate upon, ekam, that one, atmanam, I don't have to say it, it is here itself, tam, that atmanam, anantam, the boundless, ananyadhi, without any distracted mind, with a concentrated, single focused mind, without any second thought. Like that. No, Dishascha anavalokayan, Dishascha anavalokayan. Bhagavad Gita. The unswerving attention protocol. Practice framework for professional mastery of this Nididhyasana. In the modern professional landscape in which most of you are placed, cognitive fragmentation is frequently misidentified as productivity. Cognitively, you think differently, and seeing that you think that it increases the productivity. However, an elite leader, an elite leadership, and peak cognitive performance require a transition from a reactive multitasking to the disciplined state of continuous, unswerving focus. Now you dispute this statement. You dispute it. In your mind, you will know. If you are fragmented, if you are comparing the cognitive performances, you will always end up as a poor leader. An elite leader is the one and who gets the peak performance by transitioning from reactive behavior, multitasking behavior, to a disciplined state of nitithyasana, continuous, unswerving focus. This protocol provides a structured methodology for internalizing Vedantic disciplines to cultivate a mind that is steady, resilient, immune to volatility and contemporary disturbances. Do you want a mind which should be disturbed by marketplace contemporary disturbances? Or do you want to be volatile? Do you want to be always bugged by all the things around? Or you want to be resilient? So you have to be a steady mind, a resilient mind, an immune mind, which is immune from volatility and contemporary marketplace disturbances, is what you want. That Nityaasana is exactly that one only. Environmental and physical foundations, the science of seclusion. What he is saying? Vivikta desha ashino, environmental hygiene. It is very essential in your workplace also, the environmental hygiene. It is a prerequisite for any executive productivity and clarity. A high velocity work culture, mental fragmentation is a default state. Mentally shattering, mental fragmentation, mentally disturbed, and then definitive thinking about various levels, and then understanding that things are very, very different with each one. It is your culture. It has become your work culture. Seclusion must be treated as a tactical withdrawal rather than a physical withdrawal. Seclusion here means without deliberate insulation from social noise, the mind remains in a state of perpetual hyperarousal. If I am in the social noise, the mind is disturbed, perpetually aroused. Suppose there is a cricketer is there, and he goes on reading the social noise in the YouTube and in the various columns and in the newspaper. His performance next day in the game will definitely be affected. So he must insulate himself from the social noise. Likewise, any executive must insulate himself from the rumors and noise around going on in the company. That social noise to be isolated, is he saying here is Vivikta Desha Asino. Reacting to external stimuli, you should hyperarousal, you should avoid. Rather, generate high value insights. This framework leverages Vivikta Desha, a solitary, quiet place of withdrawal, characterized by Aratir Jana Samsadi, Bhagavad Gita. Aratir Jana Samsadi, not interested to be amongst people or crowd, marketplace, in the malls. Jana Samsadi, crowded place. Aratir Jana Samsadi, not interested in crowded places. By establishing a designated seclusion zone, a professional creates the necessary conditions for asinaha. That means a stable, comfortable posture. That is sukhasana, stira sukhamasanam, asinaha. That is a comfortable place, secluded place, zone for you to work internally. Proper physical alignment also is required. The head, neck, and the body should be aligned. Here they say means head is the thought, neck is the speech, we speak from the voice, and body is the action. Your thought, speech, and action must be congruent. They must not, you think something, speak something, and do something. Manastvekam, vachastvekam, karmanyekam, for all the people who are shattered fellows. Manastvekam, karmanyekam, vachastvekam, these three are for the composed people. Manaschanekam, karmanyanekam, vachasthanekam for the shattered people. So this is head, neck, and body in alignment. Not only the physical force of physical position, the mental attitude also. It minimizes the body's startle response, preventing the nervous system from entering into a sympathetic stress state. If you are physically also, for example, I am sitting in a very comfortable position with the head, neck, and the body in the same line, I have no inputs to the body which will distract me. I am comfortable from all the sides. That's very important. Also implies your thought, speech, and action on the purpose that you have selected. Vivikta Desha, identify a space defined Aratir Jana Samsadi, isolated from the presence and interruption of others. That's why you see an executive, the high-end executive, always is given a separate chamber. Why? He wants to avoid the general masses so that he will be able to concentrate and produce high-end things. If you are with everyone, what will happen? You start trying to chat. Okay, what happened? Yesterday match, did they win? Huh? No, this fellow did not bet. You are distracted from the work. What is it? This distraction you can avoid by isolating yourself to a cool, cozy place or corner. Suchihi, environmental purity. Antasuchihi, bahisuchihi. Internal cleanliness, external cleanliness. Asinaha, utilize stabilized seating, that is seated in a position that facilitates long duration of work culture. That's why you require an executive chair, an executive table where you can sit for longer hours. If you cannot sit for longer hours, today you have tables which can go up and down also mechanically or electronically. You can buy a table where you can work for 1 hour in the standing position and work in the sitting position for 1 more hour. This will give you a better endurance to work, and also it is a healthy for you. Alignment. Align the neck, head and body. As I told you, it is a psychological alignment of neck, head and body. Strategic bridge, the physical stability, environmental isolation, they neutralize the external variables that drain away your executive stamina. What is happening? Your executive power or stamina is being drained away by physical distractions, lack of physical stability, environmental disturbances. If you have a physical stability, avivikta desha ashino, like that, environmental isolation, and then you always have samakaya siro griva. These are all the requirements for a proper and productive executive stamina. Once the physical container is stabilized, the practitioner must transition to the proactive gatekeeping of the sensory data. Now, physically, you have now made yourself comfortable. The second one, what is saying? Vijitendriya, managing the inputs, professional inputs. Executive burnout is rarely a result of workload. It's not due to workload. It is the result of input entropy. You would have heard this term in your companies. Input entropy. Input entropy means the modern workflows suffer from attentional hijacking when the mind is perpetually bombarded by fragmented data and hijacked from the purposeful task. Strategic positioning of you and gatekeeping these inputs is a practice of Vijitendriya, the active discipline of the 10 senses, 5 Jnanendriyas and 5 Karmendriyas, encompassing the 5 knowledge gathering ones and the action oriented ones. So, Vijitendriya, this particular verse is not only for Atma Jnana under the Atma Bhavana, this is also for your work. How you use it and translate those things. By applying Nirudhya, means restraint. The professional moves from a state of unrestrained input to proactive gatekeeping of the input. You have to allow only that information which needs to come in and gatekeep that and restrain all the others. This is particularly critical of the karmendriyas, especially the impulse to react. The mouth is there, karmendriya, it is impelled to react immediately to something. Gatekeep it. Hold on. Don't immediately respond. Think and give an appropriate response after thought. And don't be very verbose, don't be very vocal, don't be very high volume. This one. This is gatekeeping the karmendriyas. The twitch to check email and respond to a notification. Okay. Always you have what is happening in WhatsApp. You are doing some work. If there is a ting in the WhatsApp, you wanted to go and look at what is WhatsApp and want to type some message for that. If there is one email pop and that pop you want to see what is that email, what work you will do? You restrain yourself from those unnecessary distractions. What you have to do? Email is half an hour in a day. I will attend to the emails. Like that, the WhatsApp, I will put the internet on only at this particular time and look at the WhatsApp. Not every time when you are working. Suppose I am talking to you now in the class. Can I attend to the phone and email and WhatsApp? If I do that, I will be failing in my duty here. Okay? Nirudhya, personal behavior, high performance application. Jnanendriya discipline, intake, mitigating the input entropy, karmendriya discipline, neutralizing the impulse to react, sakalendriyani nirudhya, keep the work immersion. Strategic bridge, what is that? By slowing the influx inputs, professional immunizes the internal processor. However, sensory quietude is only sustainable if the practitioner addresses the underlying psychological attachments that drive the emotional volatility. So you have to do that. Then what is that? Detachment from emotional volatility. Viraga. He says viraga. High stakes environments, viraga, detachment is a sophisticated instrument for maintaining objective judgment under pressure. If you are saraga, that means if you are attached to a thing, you will not be able to take an objective judgment. You will be biased. Your judgment will be corrupted and biased. It is the calculated absence of raga or obsessive desire or attachment which acts as a filter that distorts the data. The source logic dictates a rigorous causal chain. Raga attachment inevitably produces bhaya and fear. Okay, so raga is associated with fear or bhaya and krodha or anger. Okay, in professional practice, this manifests as a law of professional volatility. Volatility is what? Volatility is attachment, and not having volatility is professional productivity. Objective reality. When the executive is overly attached to a specific market outcome or ego-driven result, they experience the fear of loss and anger of obstruction. Viraga neutralizes the cycle and provides a blank canvas. What are the diagnostic questions for this strategic detachment? Identify the raga, my current stress, or an objective assessment of the risk and a personal attachment to the result. Trace the bhaya, where the specific losses can come from, and you find out. Recognize the krodha, the frustration or the disappointment you recognize. Trace the data. Strategic bridge, raga, bhaya, krodha cycle, which emotional neutrality, by neutralizing the raga, bhaya and the krodha, the emotional neutrality can be achieved. Cognitive architecture, ananyadhi, unswerving attention. Very important. For any task, ananyadhi. While multitasking, a common industry term, it is a euphemism of our fragmented attention. Instead of saying fragmented attention, I'm doing multitasking. Let us say a driver is there, he is driving and also talking to his wife on the cell phone and also taking some tea along with that. What driving he will do? He will crash and he will also crash on. Multitasking is an industry term which is a euphemism for fragmented attention. Instead of saying he had fragmented attention, we say he is doing multitasking. Not correct. Vedic ideal is ananyadhi, unswerving attention, single pointedness, ekagrata, one pointedness, ekam. This is defined by the rejection of anyadhi, intrusion of distracting or tangential thoughts. The protocol involves bhavana, constant practice, becoming the thought should internalize through meditative contemplation of the Atman, the self. For a high-level professional, this means meditating upon the foundation that is nirgunam, attributeless, and nischalam, the study, nityam, eternal, nirmalam, pure. By viewing challenges through the lens of nirgunam, an executive can observe problems without attributes. So if you are using the lens of nirgunam, I'm not interested in the attributes, I'm interested in the performance. If his executive is viewing through the lens of nirgunam, his chances of failure and future anxiety are totally nullified. Define the focus. Ekam, cognitive offloading. Ananyati, contemplate the limitless. Anantam, sustain the state. Nithityasanam, nischalam, nirmalam. Strategic bridge, unswerving attention eliminates the cognitive drag of the fragmented mind. This depth of focus leads to ultimate mindset of radical acceptance and self-sufficiency, accommodating the mindset. Integration and resilience are two important terms. I am Purnaha, I am Truptaha, I am Shantaha, Aham Purnaha, Aham Truptaha, Aham Shantaha. So, professional acceptance, whatever can I change, wherever can I change things, I will try my best. But, 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 whether the things change or not, I am not disturbed. It is okay. I am ready to accommodate all results as they are. I don't expect the result to be in a particular way to make me happy. I don't have any external dependence on my happiness. It's a beautiful verse. I have made it more with an executive angle and the philosophical angle also. I have explained. Let us read it once again. विविक्तदेशाशीनो विरागो विजितेन्द्रियः भावयेद्येकमात्मानं तम् अनन्तम् अनन्यथि. Again I am stressing Vivikta Desha Ashinaha. Seclude yourself for the Nidichyasana. Not in a very disturbed environment. It is possible. You have to be seclusive and then create an environment where you can concentrate. Viragaha. Don't be passionate. Don't be too much attached to anything, particularly the mind problems. Vijitendriyaha, keep the senses under control, both this tongue and other indriyas and also the jnanendriyas. Then having done that, what I should do? Ekam atmanam bhavayet, that one, the atma, the self should be bhavayet, meditated. What is that again? Tam anantam, that itself is the infinite. How to do that? Ananyadhi, without any distraction, with a single pointed attention. Vivikta desha ashino virago vijitendriya bhavayedekamatmanam tam anantamananyadhi. Let me focus, the two slokas are already there. So let us see one by one. Evam nirantarabhyasta brahmaivasmiti bhavana haratya vidya vikshepan roga nivarasayanam. Vivikta desha asino virago vijitendriya bhavayed ekamatmanam tam anantam ananyadhi tamanantamananyadhi. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.